Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
It goes a long way to make your workout just a little bit more enjoyable and kind of pushes you when you hit that edge and you want just that little bit more oomph. So if you don't listen to music, maybe consider it. All right, so to start, first we are just going to move it right into a standing cross crawl. So we're just going to touch one knee and then touch the other knee. So opposite hand to opposite knee, a light little bit of twisting in the torso, a little bit of work in the hip flexors, slight bit of balance work. So just kind of tune in and notice here. How is your body feeling? How do your legs feel? How does your back feel? How does your balance feel? And what is your energy level like this morning? We do have some speed rounds, but you know the drill. If the speed is not for you, you leave it off and you go at a mindful pace that makes the most sense to you. "20 seconds left. You can pick up the pace if it feels good or slow it down if it feels better to do that. "10 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, now we're going to go feet hip width distance apart, and we're going to go for that hip hinge as we slide one hand behind the back and then the other. So you're going to alternate between the two, just arms out at your sides, and then one slips up as far in the shoulder blade area as it will go. So you're not going to try to force it to go to any place that it doesn't want to. We want to bring it back behind us, go for a little hip hinge, switch to the other hand, go for a hip hinge. What we hope to find as we tuck that hand behind the back or behind the shoulders is as you bend forward, hopefully it'll bring just a tiny little stretch to wake up the shoulder. So we're going for that light and gentle stretch or stress, depending on how your shoulders feel. And then as you do this little bit of work here, maybe check in. How do the backs of your legs feel? Do you like to keep your knees slightly bent? I certainly do. How do your shoulders feel? We have a bit of shoulder work today, so just notice how things are feeling. You're already halfway there. "15 seconds left. And then as you start to go a little bit further through this move, you may find that you find a little bit more range of motion just by giving the shoulder a little bit of time to warm up. 3 more seconds. All right, now the next one we're going to do is going to be a sideways roll down. So we're going to tuck our chin and roll down like you're trying to roll down the side of your body. And then you're going to walk across the center, roll up. And then that side that you come up, that's the side you're going to roll back down, cross center, and then roll up the other way. So we're going to alternate between those two. Go nice and slow. Think about tucking your chin as you roll down. So we want to think about like imagine that we're rolling our spine down and away from an imaginary. Take it through center, roll up nice and slow, and then just notice, how does the back of your body feel? How does the side of your body feel? How does coming up and down feel? Does that make you really check in with your energy level, or is everything feeling good, revved up, rare and ready to go? You're already halfway there. Nice work. You guys look awesome. Beautiful. 15 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, roll up in any way that you like. And now grab the heaviest weights that you can stand. For me today, I'm going with my 5-pounders. But if I was doing this and I didn't have to talk you all the way through it, I'd probably go with my 8-pounders or my 10-pounders. So know that you could go for a heavy weight here if you want to. It's going to be a squat, a bicep curl. You'll rotate so that the palms flip in, a deadlift, so that's your hip hinge, and then we're going to row up to the chin. So we're going to put all of that together. You're going to squat, bicep curl, deadlift, and then row it up to the chin. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Go for the heaviest weights that you can stand here, and then just do that little check-in, because we're going to do some of these moves a couple times throughout our morning's work. So ask yourself, how's your body feeling? And then you can coordinate the movement in any way that makes sense. So if it makes more sense to you to take your squat and your bicep curl at the same time, go ahead and do that. But it's a squat, a bicep curl, a deadlift, and then we row it up to the chin. And then we really want to find that differentiation between the squat and the deadlift. So when we squat, we bend our knees, the butt goes back, but the chest and chin stay lifted. When we do our deadlift, we push the butt back and we hip hinge, heart comes forward. So make sure you find that good variation between the two. We got 20 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, next one's going to be 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. So you're going to ask your shoulder how it's feeling. You're going to go for that. We go rotator cuff circles, but I like to call them the wax on, wax off, because it's like from the Karate Kid. So we're going to go 30 seconds one arm, 30 seconds the other arm. So one single load will do the trick. And if you like, stagger your stance just a little bit, just to give your core a little bit of extra work. All right, stick with that arm, but if it's going in one particular direction, maybe reverse and go the other way. And then notice your shoulder here. So make sure it's feeling good. You can go lightweight. You can go no weight at all. All right, switch your stance, switch your hand, and we're moving right to the other side. Circle in one direction. One shoulder might feel very different from the other. So you may opt for a lighter weight or no weight on one side compared to the other. There's no right or wrong. Do what feels the strongest to your body. All right, reverse that, go the other way. Three seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, now grab your second weight. And now we're moving back to just the squat with the bicep curl. So now you're going to go for a squat that feels appropriate to you. I'm in the mood for a narrow squat today, but you might opt for a wider squat, and you might choose to go bicep curl squat at the same time, or some little variation between the two, but it's just going to be a squat and a bicep curl. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take it at your pace and find the variation of shape that feels the best to you this morning. So we want to feel like our knees feel good, ankles feel good. Our knees and inner thighs are going to stay fairly strong so that the knees aren't collapsing in towards each other. And a nice full range of motion bicep curl. We're pulling those weights up to the shoulder, lowering nice and slow. So if you like that little play around with how can you change pace of things, pull it up to the shoulders nice and fast, lower it nice and slow. You've got it. You're already halfway there. Nice squats. You guys look awesome. Beautiful work. 5 seconds left. And time. Okay, now we're going to move it into an Arnold press with a staggered stance. So we'll switch our staggered stance at the 30-second mark, but you're going to load up at the shoulder. So go with the weights that make the most sense to you. Overhead press, we flip the palms, rotate in, and the elbows pull in towards each other. Press up and overhead, flip the palms, rotate in. We'll switch our stance at the 30-second mark. Choose the weights that feel the best to you here. If you get here and you're like, ooh, I need to lighten my weights up, do what feels good. 5 more seconds and then we switch our stance. All right, switch your feet, but all the rest of the work stays the same. Ten seconds left. And time. Nice job. All right, lower your arms just for a second. Give everything a good wiggle and a shake. Woo, I'm already warmed up. So next thing we're going to do is going to be the deadlift with the row to the shoulder. So grab the heaviest weights you can stand for that. Feet are going to be about hip width distance apart, a little bit of a micro bend in the knee. We push the butt way back, hip hinge, push down into the feet to come up, and then pull those weights all the way up to your chin. And we want to keep them slightly close to the front of the body, like you're pulling up your zipper, and then lower it down. Push your butt back into your feet to come up, squeeze your butt, and then row it up to the chin. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace and go with the heaviest weights here that your body can stand. Still keep this one fairly slow. So think of it as a slower, more mindful point here, because we will do this again with a little bit of speed. So keep this, if you can, find that focus of pushing down into your feet, squeeze your butt at the top, zip it up to your chin. You've got it. Nice job. Seconds left. Y'all's hip hinge looks so good. I could just scream all day. I swear. You guys are amazing. All right, that's time. Nice work. Okay, now you may choose to switch to a slightly lighter weight because it's going to be a calf raise and a halo. So we're going to alternate between the two arms. We'll calf raise in between each and do that single arm halo. So you lift your heels, lower your heels, circle your arm around your head. We try to keep our head in a steady, stable position. Keep your weight as close to your head without injuring yourself, of course. And then we got 1 minute on the clock. So you take this work at your pace. Go with the weights that make the most sense to your shoulder here. Circle it around nice and close. Arms hold away from the side of the body as you do that calf raise. And then you switch to the other side. Nice job. All right, now if you're circling around the front and you want that little bit of a reverse, maybe you'll go the other way if you like to. 20 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, now we're going to set one weight down and it's going to be a wide squat with a figure eight pass. So you're going to step your feet fairly wide. You're going to go one single hand weight and you're going to pass it underneath your legs in a nice figure eight pattern. So you're going to let your hips move with you, let your knees move with you, let your ribs move with you, let everything move in a nice strong way. Bend down, pass it through, bend down and pass it through. So we work our grip. We pay attention to proprioception because you might not be able to see where that weight is, but you're certainly paying attention to where it is connected to the space that you're working in and where your body is. You've got it. Nice job. You're already halfway there. 5 seconds left. And time. Stick with that one single weight, stick with that wide stance, but now sink into the squat and hold it. The empty hand is going to tuck behind the head, and we're going 30 seconds one side. We're just dipping down a little bit, just to the point where you feel a little stress in the side of the body, and then use your side muscles to come back up nice and strong. We've got 1 minute on the clock. We'll switch our hands at the 30-second mark. And it doesn't need to be extreme. Like, we don't need to reach all the way down to the ground. Just a little dip, come back up, and see if you can find the focus of pushing your head into your hand to keep the back of the body nice and kicked on, nice and stable. 5 seconds left and we switch hands. All right, pass your weight over to your other hand, hand behind the head, and then take those dips right to the other side. Yes, nice job. And time. Beautiful. Come on up. Give your legs a little shake. Grab your second weight. Now we're going to go through that squat, bicep curl, deadlift, row to the chin, but this time we're going to go for some speed. So pick the weights that will feel the most appropriate to go a little bit faster. And then once you're there, take the work at your pace, sink into your squat, give it a bicep curl, find your deadlift, row it up to the chin. But see, how fast can you go but still stay safe in your body? So we definitely want to make sure that we focus on strength and control over speed, but speed will give us that nice cardiovascular engagement. Get the heart rate up, stay strong, but in control of your movements. You've got it. "20 seconds left. You guys look amazing. And time. Nicely done. Okay, next up, we're going to stick with 2 hand weights and we're going to go for speed here. So it's going to be 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. So it's going to go really fast. So start with your wax on, wax off, but we're going to go for just 10 seconds of work. So take it as fast as you can, staying in control. I'll let you know when we're going to switch. All right, now from here, we're taking it right into that Arnold press. Press it up, rotate it, and we got 10 seconds, but how fast can you go? Stay in good control. Belly stays firm. All right, now we're taking it into our calf raise with the halo. We got 10 seconds of work. Calf raise, circle around. Stick with just one direction here, just because we only have 10 seconds to get that work done. All right, now we're taking it into a nice wide position. And instead of doing a figure 8, you're just going to tap your weights underneath your legs. So you're going to rotate and tap, rotate and tap. You've got it. All right, last one. Hold that squatted position and keep your arms loaded. Take 5 tick-tucks each side. And time. Nicely done. Come on up. Now, option here to go no weights or hand weights. That's going to be totally up to you, but it's going to be a cross crawl, but we're going to go elbow to knee. So if you want to, keep your weights, but we're going for just a little bit of speed. 20 seconds of work, elbow to knee. Go for some speed here if you can. Get your heart rate up a little bit. Move your torso, move your legs. Five more seconds of work. All right, now we're going to step our feet out nice and wide, stay loaded at the shoulders, take it into some side lunges, legs as wide as you like. Nice job. 10 more seconds of work here. And then we're going to keep that nice wide position with our legs. When you're ready, hands down to the ground, gorilla row. Pull one elbow up towards the rib, pull the other elbow up towards the rib. Keep your back nice and stable, nice and strong, but the shoulders and the ribs move with you just a little bit. Pull those elbows up, scrape the ribs. 5 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, come on up, give everything a good shake. Now we are coming down to the ground into a V-sit position. Take your weights with you. You'll want them handy and nearby. Sit your butt down. We're going to go a single hand weight. You'll see how that feels, and then you might play around with adding a weight on. We're going 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. Load up, let's say your right hand. Right hand's gonna reach back to the corner, bring it back in. Left leg is gonna slide out, and your right hand's gonna reach across toward your left foot, and then coordinate, pull it back in. Right hand reaches back, touch the corner, bring it in. Left leg reaches out and the right hand reaches across to touch. So we're adding just a little coordination in. So you lean back in your V-set, touch, reach the leg out, and then as you come back in, you pull the leg in with you. We've got 30 seconds on this side. Weights or no weights, do the thing that feels the strongest to you. Think of this as a really good functional movement. That lean back, we want to get the core to kick on. Step the leg out, reach across and touch. You've got it. Nice job. All right, next time you come through center, pass that weight over to the other side, and away we go. Lean back, touch, reach the leg out, reach across, touch the foot, step it in, lean back and touch, bring it in, reach the foot out, reach across and touch. You've got it. Nice job. And time. Beautiful. Okay, set your weights slightly off to the side or a little bit out of the way. So we want a little bit of room to move, like we're going for a rolling side plank. So you're going to roll to one side. You're just going to pick your hips up, pick the ribs up, lower down, roll to the other side. It's up, pick the ribs up, down. We want to focus on keeping the shoulders braced. The ribs are the things that are lifting up and away from the ground, and we're rolling across. So you're going to take it from side to side at a pace that feels good to you, and then brace your shoulder in the way that makes the most sense to you. So you may go elbow and forearm. That might be the stronger position for you. Make sure you get yourself up so it feels good and the side body feels strong. So whether that's elbow and forearm down or a tall hand position, the body. Nice job. That feels like it's not quite enough work and you want that little extra, take a hand weight with you. That means you have to hand as you roll across center, and then add that little bit of strength as you lift up. You've got it. 20 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, now we're going to come down onto our back. It's going to be a toe touch crunch, and then we'll bend the knees and do a double toe touch. So bring your legs up towards the sky. Hands are going to reach up, crunch up like you're trying to touch your toes, bend your knees, and then the thighs move away from the heart to touch the toes down. We pull them back up towards the sky, reach up, give that little crunch, bend your knees, toes touch the ground. So that's the space we're alternating between. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Think of this one as a little bit of a lymphatic movement. So it's a light pumping action. So it's just helping move lymph from the feet back down to the heart. Nice job. I love my exhale on my effort. So I like that exhale as I reach up to touch my toes. And then my other exhale is where my toes right about reach the ground. Nice job, you guys. Beautiful work. 12 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, now we're flipping over onto our belly. So how you flip around is going to be totally up to you. Which side you choose is going to be totally up to you. Yourself around, and then from that belly down position, we're going into, from our yoga friends, that would look like your locust pose with your hands behind you. So we're going to reach our hands alongside the body, palms facing up, forehead or chin to the ground. And then we lift the legs, lift the arms, reach up through the back of the body, lower nice and slow and controlled. We have 1 minute on the clock. Take this at your pace. It's not really about going for some big grand height. It's really about that control. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes, lift, feel that nice engagement of the muscles through the whole back of your body, and then lower nice and slow. How long you hold that lift, totally up to you. Maybe you just pause for a second and then release, or maybe you stay there for a breath or two. That'll be what feels best to you. Where are you finding your strength this morning? Beautiful lift. Mwah, chef's kiss. You guys look amazing. And time. Nicely done. Okay, now push your way up to a tabletop position. From our tabletop position, it's going to be pull back like you're going to a child's pose, come through your table, lift up into that upside down V shape or your downward facing dog shape. Lower your knees, butt back to the heels, tabletop position, lift into that upside down V. We have 1 minute on the clock. Take it at your pace. If you see any places along the way that your body asks you to stop at and pause for a breath, do what feels good to you. Think of this as your cool down minute. So no need to go slow, no need to go fast. Take your time. Notice how your body feels. Notice how your shoulders feel, because we did a lot of shoulder work today. So also make sure that that down dog feels good, comfortable, and safe to the shoulders. You're already halfway there. All right, now the next time you come up to your down dog shape or that upside down V shape, walk your hands towards your feet, walk your feet towards your hands so you come into a fold. And then if you have your weights handy and nearby, grab your light hand weights. We're gonna go for a dangle with our arms slightly elevated above the ground, and then we're just gonna do some circles with our arms. So with that little bit of load, it'll create a little gentle traction in the shoulders. So you want that heavy dangle. Let your arms circle in one direction. Keep your knees slightly bent so you're not pulling too much against the backs of your legs. There should be no zinging in your glutes, no pain in your butt. All right, now if your arms are circling in one direction and you like that little reverse, go the other way. All right, last 20 seconds, we're taking it into a loaded roll up. So bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll all the way up. And then as you roll back down, you want to tuck your chin. Imagine you're peeling your back away from that wall behind you. lower nice and slow and controlled, and then roll your way back up nice and slow. Take your time. Beautiful. Now, the next time you come up to standing, take a minute to come all the way up and then set your weights down. Give your shoulders a little roll around, rolling them back about 3 to 5 times. Nice. And then roll your shoulders forward about 3 to 5 times. Lovely. And now we're going to take one arm and just bring it across the front of the body, drop the shoulder down, and then gently nod your head up and down. One more little nod up and down, and then head to neutral position, release that arm, switch to the other side. If it feels good, gently nod your head up and down. One more gentle nod up and down, and then release that. We're going to take our, say, left hand, flip the palm so the palm is facing backwards, and then we're going to reach that hand back and start to draw some circles. So just circling the palm in one direction. Circle the palm the other way. And then keep that arm stretched out and back, and then drop your ear away from the shoulder. Take a nice big breath. Keep your head tucked down. Now take that hand that's behind you and slide it up into the shoulder blades, or as far as you can get it to go without having to do anything that feels uncomfortable. And then once you found your way there, now tuck your head just a little bit side to side. Lovely. One more tick-tock of the head side to side. And then as your head comes to center, release that arm, and we're switching to the other side. So palm is going to face back. Take that palm, draw it in circles, circle in one direction. Circle it the other way. Keep that palm back, shoulder down, drop your ear away from the shoulder. Nice. Now take that hand behind you, tuck it up into the shoulder blade area, or just as far as it will go. And then once you're there, little tick-tocks of your head side to side. Wonderful. One more little tick-tock of the head side to side, and then both hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles slightly down, and then pull the arms a little bit away from the back of the body. So you get a little opening through the chest and through the collarbones. And then once you feel that little stress in the front of the body, soften it just enough so that you can bend your knees, fold over, let your arms fall away from the back of the body. So a lot of times we use a prop for this one. So if your arms only go just so, that's where they're going to land. So you're going to just let your arms go where they go naturally. Bend your knees as much as you like to. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Stay in your folded position now. Release your clasped hands. Float your hands down to the ground. Once your hands have found the ground, we're just going to do that little gentle walk side to side. So just that bottom half of the sideways roll up that we did. So just walk it a little to the left and a little to the right. Take one more little walk side to side, and then as you come through center, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, take your time as you roll your way up to standing. And then as you come up, give everything a little wiggle and a bounce. You guys are amazing. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. I'm going to come close to the screen just to make sure that you can see what I'm saying. So we're going to do a little bit of a seat. We're going to sit on our roller in just a different way, but what we're going to try to achieve is placing ourselves so that we can put the edge of our eyebrow onto the edge of our roller. So you're going to take your glasses off, you're going to put the edge of your eyebrow onto the roller, and then we'll blink our eyes. But we're going to position ourselves just so that we have most of the body weight on the roller, very little, if at all, any body weight onto the eyebrow point, and then we'll switch to the other side. So set your roller down like as if you were going for that long spine position, but now we're going to step across, and then you're going to position your butt pretty far back so that you can sit in sort of a saddle seat like you're sitting on a horse. Now we're going to bend ourselves forward, and this is where we want to put ourselves forward so that we can place an eyebrow onto the edge of the roller, and then take a moment just to see if you can find that. So you're going to bend yourself forward. You'll reposition yourself just as much as you need to so that it feels like a good, comfortable position. And then eyebrow is going to rest just on the edge or corner of the. So there's a slight upward lifting of the eyebrow. That's what we're shooting for. If you can find that slight upward lifting of the eyebrow, you're going to pin that eyebrow in place and then start to blink your eyes in a really purposeful manner. So you're just opening and closing the eyes. Take one or two more blinks of that eye and then gently lift up to the other side. So you're going to turn your head. You're going to get your eyebrow on the edge of your roller, just so. So we don't want any body weight on it. All we want is to trap that skin and lift it up slightly. Once you've got the skin lifted slightly, then see if you can come back to that purposeful blink, blinking, opening and closing the eyes, nice and slow. One or two more blinks here, and then when you're ready, gently lift your head. Now we're going to go for that point, that center point of the eyebrows. So the center point of your eyebrows is going to rest right on the edge of your roller, and then you're going to draw it back as if you're trying to lift your eyebrows up. So we're going to try to lift that center, just lifting it gently up towards the forehead. And then once you're there, we're going to do little tiny micro turns of the head. So it's going to be little tiny micro circles, but your nose might get in the way. So it's going to be super, super small, super gentle, super mindful. Take one more circle around and then reverse, go the other way. Again, it's super small. It's just a tiny little movement. One more little circle around. And then when you're ready, slowly lift your head up. If you can, come up so that you're sitting in that saddle position. And then once you've got that saddle position, we're going to take a light twist. So you're going to just rotate to one side. Hands are going to maybe find the back of the roller or just leverage against your knee to find a little bit of rotation in the spine. And then breathe nice and full. Think, breathe to the bottom of your rib cage. Take one more breath. And then we're going to change the rotation. So rotate to the other side, get the handhold that makes sense to you. Maybe you grab the end of your roller, maybe you just grab the side of your thigh. Find your rotation first and then breathe fully into the bottom of your rib cage. Take one more breath. And then as you unwind and come through center, we're going to do little tips to the side. So you're going to keep your butt on the roller, and then you're just going to reach into one hand and reach into the other hand. So as if you're trying to like get to the side of one glute and get to the other side of your glute, but just it's a really small, really gentle. So just a little tip to one side, a little tip to the other. Take two more each side. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we're going to come onto long spine. So you'll reposition yourself in the way that makes come through a tabletop position or just roll off to one side, just whatever gets you there in a safe way. Find your way onto long spine. So tailbone on the roller, spine on the length of the roller, head supported on the roller. Once you've found your way here, step your feet like in a nice wide position so that almost as if you could just be effortless, your legs will help support and you could have your hands free. Once you found that sort of hands-free position, we're going to go for a cactus arm with the elbows bent and let the elbows get nice and heavy. So the arms and the elbows might not touch the ground. Don't worry about that, but think about just letting your chest, your heart space open up, let your elbows get heavy, let your hands be wide but soft. Now we're going to keep this cactus goalpost position, but now we're going to go for that wax on, wax off. So palms open and soft, and now you're going to do gentle circles. If you come to a point where letting the arms be slightly relaxed and heavy feels uncool to the shoulders, then you'll engage them and lift them up and do the wax on, wax off here. But if it feels okay to let the arms be slightly heavy, elbows going slightly past the shoulders, circle your palms, rotator cuff is circling in one direction. And then rotate the other way. Nice. One more gentle rotation here. And then arms are going to come up like they're going for a Y shape with like the YMCA. So arms up and wide. And then if your hands can touch the ground, great. Once you've got your hands in a nice wide position, slightly above the head, turn your head to the right just a little bit. So think about maybe a 45-degree turn. So you're looking at the corner of your ceiling. Hang out here for a moment. Take a breath. And now turn your head the other way, but think a little 45-degree turn. So you're not turning it as far as your head will go, but just a slight bit of turn so you feel a little bit of change in the shape of your shoulder. All right, now head's going to return back to center, and now we're just going into some snow angel arms. So you're going to let your arms float down alongside your hips, and then let your arms float above your head, and then just let your shoulders move in the way that feels the most natural. So it doesn't matter if your hands can touch the ground. We just want to smoothly move them up and down. And then if it's not smooth, take a moment to notice, where do you find those little sticky points? Is it at the bottom? Is it at the middle? Or is it at the top? There's no right or wrong, but if you have any sticky points, maybe just give them a moment to notice. All right, one more snow angel arm up and down, and then we're going to pull those arms straight in front of the chest, fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then pull the shoulder blades down and hug them around the roller. Lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling, pull the shoulder blades down, hug and squeeze, lift the fingertips up, pull the shoulder blades down, hug and squeeze, lift the fingertips up, pull the shoulder blades down, hug and squeeze. On this last one, we're going to lift the fingertips up, and now we're going to pull the shoulder blades down, hug and squeeze. Keep the shoulder blades down, and then we're going to draw some scapular circles. So you're going to circle the shoulders around, but we're trying to shoot for that hug and squeeze. So we rotate around in one direction, squeezing the shoulder blades around the roller. You'll find that point, especially that down and back point, where you're really going to feel that little squeeze on the roller. Take one more circle around, and then we're going to reverse, go the other way. One more circle around, and then arms are going to open out wide, palms facing up, arms in that T position. And then once you've got that open arm T position, we're going to gently nod the head up and down. So a little tiny tuck of the chin down and a tiny lift of the chin up. So not a big grand range of motion. Think small, subtle range of motion, just to feel a little gentle movement in the back of the neck. And then even as you nod your head up and down here, if you notice anything in the shoulders and it's not good, then you'll shorten your range of motion. So make sure everything feels good with this work. Super. One more little nod of the head up and down. And then the next time your chin tucks slightly down, we're going to keep that slightly downward tucked chin. Now you're going to flip your palms so that the palms are facing down. And you may choose to bring your arms in a little bit closer. Just make sure that your arms can start to stabilize. And now we're going to keep the double tucked chin. Arms are going to help stabilize. And now we're going to walk the feet in a little bit closer and take it into some alternating toe taps. So one leg is going to lift and then the other. And then once you get that work going on, notice, did your chin tuck change? Can you come back to your chin tuck and keep those knees lifting? One knee lifts and then the other. Nice. One more toe tap each leg. And then we're going to float those legs up into reverse tabletop position. Stabilize your arms, firm up your center. And then once you're there, we're going to take little micro reverse fire hydrants. So one leg is going to drop out to the side and then the other. Not so much that you lose your center of gravity and you tip over to one side. So keep your arms stable, keep your belly firm, drop your leg out just to the point where you're in good control, and then bring it right back in. Beautiful. Take one more reverse fire hydrant each side, and then we're going to float those feet back down to the ground. Pause for a moment. Let everything just reduce effort. And then we're going to move it into a little pelvic tilt. So you're going to press your low back into the roller and then come back to that slightly natural curve of your back. Press your low back into the roller, or that little curl of the tailbone, and then release. Do about 3 more here. Beautiful. And then once you've done about that last one, slowly, gently, mindfully roll off your roller, come off to one side, and then we're going to reposition the roller so that it's underneath our head like a pillow. So spin your roller sideways, get it set up, and then lower yourself down. We want the roller underneath the strong structure of our skull. So you want it underneath the strong skull bone, not necessarily on the cervical spine. So find that ridge of your skull, make sure it's there. And then once you're there, if you like, hold on to the ends of your roller just so it stays in place. And now we're going to come back to that gentle nod of the head up and down. So a little tiny tuck of the chin and a little tiny lift. Nothing extreme. Keep your range of motion nice and small. One more little nod of the head up and down, and then take it into some turns of the head side to side. The next time your head turns to the right, we're going to just keep it there and then draw little micro circles in one direction. And then if you're going in one particular direction and you like that reverse, go the other way. And then when you're ready, turn your head over to the left, stay there. And then we're drawing little micro circles in one direction. And then little micro circles the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring your head back to center, pause just for a moment. If you're holding onto the ends of your roller, even let your hands relax for a moment. Just stay in this soft, relaxed position. Take a breath. All right, now grab the ends of your roller, lift your head up. We're going to pass the roller underneath the bend of our knees. So if you like to, stay on your back, slide that roller underneath the bend of your knees. And then once you've got the roller underneath the bend of your knees, we're just going to come back to just a neutral position. So head on the ground, back on the ground, butt on the ground. And then hands are going to find those front protruding hip bones. And then we're going to use that little bit of touch point to come back to pelvic tilt. So we want to press the low back into the ground and then come back to the natural curve of your back. And you want to just feel that little tip of those hip bones and then that little point where they come back up towards the ceiling. Wonderful. One more little pelvic tilt. And then the next time you press your low back into the ground, scoop your tailbone up like you're coming up to that hip bridge position, and then just roll that roller underneath your butt. And then once you've got the roller underneath your butt, underneath your hips, reduce as much efforting as possible. So make sure your feet feel good, make sure your upper body feels good, and then relax your front pocket area, relax the tops of your thighs, let your belly muscles get nice and soft, and then take 3 nice deep breaths, hands wherever you like them the best. One more breath. And now hands are either going to hold onto the roller or you'll just kind of move them out of the way, whatever feels like a more stable point. But we're going to alternate some leg slides. You're going to slide your right leg down nice and long and then slide it back in. And then you're going to slide your left leg nice and long and then slide it back in. So think of this as a slow, gentle maneuver. It doesn't need to be fast and it doesn't need to be extreme. And if you slide your leg long and the heel doesn't touch the ground, that's okay too. We just want to stretch the leg out and then bring it back in and go for about 3 more times each side. All right, now the next time your right leg stretches out nice and long, put a little flex in your foot, a little firmness in your belly, and now we're just going to start to raise the leg up towards the sky and then lower it back down, let the heel touch the ground, and then just as it touches the ground, kick it right back up to the sky. Nice and slow and controlled. Go for about 3 more here. And then the next time that right leg kicks up towards the sky, we're going to bend that knee, pull it all the way in towards your chest. Maybe you catch hold of it with your right hand. Once you've got your knee in towards your chest, slide your left leg nice and long. Let your left heel get nice and heavy. So now we're compressing the right front pocket or that right hip flexor area, and we're stretching or stressing the left hip flexor area. So notice there's just that little bit of difference. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to set our right leg down. Left leg is going to start to lift and hover. Once that right foot touches the ground, grab the ends of your roller, and we're just lifting that left leg up and then lowering it down. So the heel is going to touch the ground, and then just as it touches, we pick it right back up nice and controlled. Wonderful. Now the next time that leg kicks up towards the sky, you're going to bend that knee, pull it in towards your chest, maybe get a handhold, and then slide your right leg out nice and long. One side might look and feel different from the other, so make sure you just go to the point that feels good and comfortable on this side. So we stress that right front pocket area, we compress the left front pocket area, come back to your breath. Breathe nice and full into your rib cage. All right, now we're going to slide that right leg in. So both knees are going to be bent in towards the heart, and then hands are just going to hold onto the roller to keep it nice and secure. Keep your inner thighs together, and we're just going to draw our knees in circles, circle in one direction. If your roller gets out of place, you always have the option to put your feet down, reset it, and then come back into it. So always make sure that the work that you're doing feels good. Awesome. And now if you're circling in one direction, reverse, go the other way. Beautiful. One more circle around, and then we're going to float both feet down to the ground slowly, gently, mindfully, and then we're going to slide those feet nice and long. So you're going to step your feet out nice and long to the end of your mat. Stay with that hip supported position if you can. And then once you're into that gentle back bend, arms are going to stretch up and overhead, and we're going to go 3 yawning breaths. So you're going to inhale, reach, and stretch through the fingers and the toes. Exhale and soften. Inhale, reach through the fingers, stretch through the toes. Exhale and soften. Inhale, reach through the fingers, stretch through the toes. Exhale to soften. Step your feet in nice and slow and controlled. Push firm into your feet. Lift your hips up. We're going to slide that roller out from underneath, but just to the bend of our knees. And then we're going to go soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. So our legs are going to be in that supported butterfly position. But once you've got your way here, we're going to reach our arms up like we're holding a beach ball in front of our chest. And then we're going to do 3 crunches here. So keep your legs supported on the roller. Exhale, curl up your head, neck, and chest like you're reaching your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, release as slow as you can back down to the ground. Exhale, curl up, hold at the top just for a moment. Inhale, release it back down. Exhale, curl it up, hold it at the top just for a moment. Inhale, release it back down, and then hands are going to find the bottom curve of the ribs, and you're going to take 3 full expansive breaths. So think about breathing into your hands or breathing into your rib cage. Wonderful. One more breath. And then when you're ready, you're going to release your hands from your ribs. You're going to prop yourself up with your elbows, come up nice and slow. We're going to keep that roller underneath the bend of our knees, but then we're going to take it into a nice light and gentle fold. So keep that roller underneath your knees, fold yourself forward just enough. So it doesn't need to be extreme. There's no need to like yank against the back of your body. Just fold yourself down and then see if maybe you feel a point where you feel a little stress in the low back, or maybe you feel a little tug in the hamstrings. Once you feel that first bit of sensation, that's your end for right now. And then now see if you can breathe into the back of your rib cage. One more breath. Come out of your fold nice and slow. Walk your feet in just enough so that you can move that roller underneath the bend of your, or the back of your thighs. And then we're just going to take a couple of good soft rolls to the backs of the thighs. Roll forward and back. Keep your knees slightly soft, so we just don't want to lock out our knees here best we can. Nice. One more little roll up and down, and then we're going to roll ourselves so that we can put our butt up onto the roller. So whatever gets you there, pop your butt up and over the roller. And then once you've got your butt on the roller, we're taking it into that big roll across. So side of the glutes to side of the glutes. The next time you roll over to the right, stay there and give a couple of good rolls up and down. All right, now as you roll up and down here, see if you can find a place where it feels just a little bit more sensational than the other. And then can you land on that point for a moment and then just gently wiggle the leg? So nothing extreme, like it doesn't even have to be like a big flap of the leg. Find a point, get nice and heavy on it, and then just move your leg in a really small, like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, nothing big. Wonderful. One more little wiggle up and down, and then we're going to roll right over and across to the other side. Once you're at the other side, and down. All right, now as you go along here, a point that feels a little bit more sensational than the other. And if you have no points that feel sensational, just maybe you always pick the same point so that it just feels like symmetrical. But one side may feel different than the other. So find a point that feels good, get heavy on it for a minute, and then little micro wiggles of the bottom leg. Awesome. One more little micro wiggle, and then we're going to roll back over to the right, but we're going to slightly angle ourselves. So roll over to the right and then see how much of the side of your thigh can you angle yourself to get on the roller. And then we're just going to lean into it and then lean off of it. Lean into it. And I'm using my hand a little bit to gently press into the inner thigh, but only do that if that feels good. So you want to feel like you're gently pushing the muscle tissue and the IT band into the roller and then rolling right off. Great. One more little roll on and off, and then roll all the way over and across to the other side. Angle yourself just so. So get as much of the side of your roller as you can, and then do a gentle roll on your hand if that feels good. It off if that feels like it's just too much. Wonderful. And then come through center. We're going to pop our butt up and off the roller. So roller in front of you, butt behind the roller, and then move it right down to the calves. And we're just taking it right into our foam roller walk. Walk down towards your ankles, and then walk it back up towards the bend of your knees. Great. One more walk forward and back, and then we're going to turn the toes out. So toes out, knees out, and then walk it in. So you may have to walk your legs a little bit wider just to give yourself that little bit of space. All right, one more walk up and down with the toes turned out, and then we're going to turn the toes in. So a little bit of a knock-kneed situation. Walk it down, walk it in. But with those toes turned in, you may find you have to do a little bit of a less range of motion or navigate your legs in a way that makes the most sense so it feels safe to your knees. All right, one more walk up and down, and then walk it all the way down to the edge of your ankles, so where the calf meets the ankles. And then we're just going to twirl the toes a little bit side to side. All right, and now take it into some little circles. So as you swish them to the side, scoop them under and around, and then just circle in one direction. And then reverse circles, go the other way. Lovely. One more circle around, and then we're just going to spin our legs around. Big spin of the legs, come right onto the tops of the thighs. So we're going to get ourselves all the way around and then bring that roller underneath your thighs. And we're going for the big roll of the thighs. So give yourself as much room as you can. Go from the tops of the thighs down to where the thighs meet the knees. And we're going to go for just about 5 nice big rolls here. You've done about 5 nice big rolls, come to the middle of the thighs. So move your roller or move yourself, get to the middle of your thighs in any way that makes the most sense. And then bend to the knees. So lift your heels up and then touch your toes down. Beautiful. One more bend and straighten of the legs. And then we're going to push ourselves back to tabletop position and into our puppy pose. So knees are going to stay fairly in line with the hips. Grab your phone out in front of you, arms as wide as you like them to be, chest and forehead melt down, and then just get really nice and heavy here. Give plenty of space for your chest to soften down, but not too much that your shoulders feel cranky about it. So it should feel like a really good, nice stretching sensation. Take a nice big breath in. Awesome. And then when you're ready, start to gently pull that roller back in toward you. And then we're going to come up through a downward facing dog shape. So curl your toes under, lift your butt up, that upside down V, and then walk your feet towards the roller. And now we're just going to steamroll the tops of the feet. So press down as you come up and press up, press down as you come up and down. All right, now the next time you steamroll up to the ankle, you're going to hold it there against the ankles, and then you're just going to lift your toes up and down. So you're going to try to keep a little bit of downward pressure on the roller against the ankles, and then lift all 10 toes or however many toes you have, lift them up and float them down. Nice. One more lift and lower of the toes, and then we're just going to do that lymphatic lift. So you're going to gently roll up the shins, carefully go over the knee joint, press in, gently roll up the thighs, gently go over those hip bones, bring it all the way up to that belly button line. And then once you're at the belly button line, do that nice little drag across. So you're just going to press in, drag over to one side, press in and drag it over to the other side. Beautiful. One more drag through center and then pause at your center with a little bit of downward pressure. Take a nice big breath. So think about filling up the rib cage, but you'll feel just that little bit of gentle pressure of the roller against your abdomen. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then release, set your roller down. You guys are amazing. Nice work today.